Turkeys are doing well. The ducks and geese are mucky pups today. Need to give them fresh bedding. Duck, duck, goose, goose. Duck, duck, goose, goose. Duck, duck, goose, goose. I leave the lid up, they're in it. So, out you go. Come on. Duck, duck, goose, goose. Come on. Out you go. Out you go. Come on. There. Now they can't get in it. They can still drink, but they can't get in it. They just learned that trick yesterday. They know that if the lid is up, they can get in it. It's like, but I want to be wet. We'll soon have to let them out of here because it'll be too small for them. So this is our fermenting station for now until we get the lean-to added on to the chicken coop, which we will have shelves and everything in. So we have our chickens. Give them some sunflower seeds. Some fermented oats. We have it at different stages. I put fresh on every day so that we're 2 to 3 days ahead. We'll leave what's left in here for the sow. Oops. She gets half of the minerals and the boar will get the other half, but I'll put it on top of his oats. So as you can see, oh, this is not ideal. Oh. That pail gets a little heavy with oats and water, but I put the buckets in there with the dry oats and then pour the water in on top. Our boar gets fermented rolled oats only, just so he doesn't get too heavy. The sow, because she's going to be having piglets, she gets fermented corn as well as the oats and the mineral. We'll put the mineral in for the boar. I mix it up and Ron feeds it. I'll start another bucket here so that we're ahead of the game. And Ron always brings me over a bucket of water so I can pour it on once I put it in the pen. So this isn't an ideal setup, but it's important to have it in a secure place so that none of the animals could get into it, because the goats and the horses, the cattle, if they got into the fermented grain, it could bloat them quite easily. We have ice on the buckets again today. It'll be so nice to have it, the feed shed set up, because then we'll have the water on tap and all the shelves, so everything's up at a nice height and it will be easy to work with. So we feed the fermented oats to the chickens, the pigs, and the ducks, geese, and turkeys will get it as well once they get off of the starter. Right now they're too young to to have the oats. Next week I'll start feeding them a grower mix that I get from the feed mill, and they'll get 1/4 of that, and then the starter, and then just increase that. And by the 4th week, then I'll start incorporating oats into it as well. And by the 4th week, they'll be off the starter and just on the grower and the rolled oats. And then as the weeks progress, I'll take them off of the grower and they'll be strictly rolled oats, especially the Cornish. We don't have enough area to pasture graze them to grow them at a decent size. So we'll have a big pen, which I'll show you once we have them out in the pen. And there are some grass and weeds that grow in the pen, but they keep it pretty grazed down. So their rolled oats will be the mainstay for growing them. And once the ducks and geese get big enough, they'll be out and allowed to be in the yard and eat all the grass and go down to the lake for a swim if they want. They're all waiting for their breakfast. Hi. Good morning. Kate, over to the seat. Let me sit down. Come on. It's beautiful today.
Still got my long johns on.
Well, if the sun is out, though, the sun hitting you, it doesn't matter if the temperature isn't that warm. The sun hitting you makes you feel warmer.
Forecast, it's all for minus numbers through the nights. Not, 1 or 2 minus, but it's still cool in the morning.
Yeah. There you go, all done. All done. Here, come here. Oh dear. Where are you going, sweet pea?
I'll check the water for the ducks and the rabbits.
No, you've had your breakfast. Yeah, check the rabbits to see if they need alfalfa pellets, and I'll bring some along with me. All done. All done. Yes, all done. Beep, beep. Good morning, Coco Joe. Good morning. Good morning, Sophie. Rabbits having breakfast. Muscovies. For breakfast, I'm going to make a 3-egg omelet, and I'm going to use some ghee. We get the ghee from the barn at Kelwood. About a tablespoon in there. So I just went to the fridge to look at what I had in the fridge, and I had a bit of pepper and some red onion, so I chopped that up, and I'll saute that first. And then my 3 eggs, which I'll scramble, and some mozzarella cheese. So here is breakfast: an omelet, slice of toast, some yogurt with blueberries, and a little salsa on the side. So I put a load of laundry in before we went out to do chores, and now I'm going to put it into the dryer. So while the dryer is running, I am preparing supper. I'm making a tomato sauce, and we're going to have spaghetti and meat sauce. So I'm just doing the tomato sauce part of it now, and then I'll saute the meat later. So I did onions and garlic and celery, and I sauteed it first. Then I put my tomatoes that I froze last year, I put them in the pot, and once they get defrosted, I'll pull off the stem and the bud end on a very low heat defrosting, and I'll leave that for a couple of hours to do its thing, and then I'll come back and finish it off and brown the meat and put it in there. Ron is finishing up the bullpen, just reinforcing and putting electric wires around, because last year when one of the cows got in heat, he decided he was going through the fence. So we're hoping that this will deter him this year. We'd like to have the cows calve the end of March, beginning of April. Just the right time of year, and the weather is a little more predictable and don't get those minus 30, 40 days.
So we've got a combination of page wire, barbed wire, and electric fence. That should keep go. Okay, this is Lois getting on the lawn tractor. She figures she can get on that. This is going to be quite an ordeal. And she's going to till up some of the garden here so she can plant her garlic and onions and potatoes and stuff. So this will be something to see. There she goes. There. Okay. Moisture in the ground. We're having a real dry spring here.
Here is the garden tilled. Next, we need to make our rows, and we're going to do them like Jim and Rinda on hardiness approach, with ground cover and